Hey everyone, Brent Harris here at the St. John Tool Library. We're uploading a video today on heritage woodworking, which we think is important to capture for our city here in St. John, New Brunswick, being the oldest incorporated city in North America. And it's got a lot of heritage level architecture that people come from near and far to see. And it's something we here can sometimes take for granted. And we got a young woodworker who's going to show us today how they would have done certain projects back in the day when it comes to woodworking. So this is one of our first videos. We're still working out audio bugs. Be patient as we get the right equipment to do these kind of videos with a maritime touch and with maritime type of product. So this is Greg Fowler. A link for his page is below. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and sign up for our newsletter so you can hear about more classes happening right here at the St. John Tool Library.
This is what you start with all the time. This is a jack plane or foreplane. Foreplane because it comes before all the other planes. That's basically the only reason why it's called that, I think. But it just has a wide mouth and a curved blade, so it takes away material quicker than all these other ones that have more straight blades. And to start with working across the board, you just go diagonally with the foreplane. And just start by doing that. And it leaves like a scallop surface, and a lot of times on old furniture, if you look underneath the tabletop, they left that scallop surface on the underside because that's as far as they needed to go with the planes. Also work this side down flat.
How much is that taken every time you take it? Is it about what? 30 seconds of a piece of wood?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, quite thick for.
Yeah, quite thick for a first run.
Yeah. Check it with flat with the side of the plane. And it's got a bump in the middle, so what I'll do is go lengthwise down straight. Get a hump out. And now it's fairly flat, but it's got scallops in it, so I'm going to go diagonally again to finish it off.
Okay. Right over here.
And now once I'm done with that plane, that's just the rough plane surface, and I go to this plane, it's called the tri-plane.
Okay.
That's for getting long lengths flat. So I'll go straight down it with this plane now.
This is how you get them big muscles, eh?
That'll work.
So that's the triplane.
Now I'll go to the smooth plane, and that finishes it off. It's finally set, and a fairly straight blade, but it has a slight curve to it.
Okay.
Get these tools and get into this.
Just find them at yard sales, online, the flea market in Sussex,
Okay, cool.
places like that. This is pretty much done, and this would probably actually be the back side if you were actually doing something. So if this was a tabletop, you wouldn't need to take it down that smooth. You just leave it at the first stage.
Okay.
So now I'm going to flip it up on edge and plane the edge straight. And you gotta look to see which way the grain's going, because if you plane against the grain, it tears out like that on the back. So it chips out of it.
And so you've made this little setup here. So you got a couple pieces of plywood down. And what's this you're putting it into here?
Just a V-notch. I saw this in an old book,
Okay.
and the way I usually have it set up is just I can take it on and off with a clamp. But this is actually more true like they used to have. They used to have it set up permanently in one corner,
Got it.
and it just holds it by the V shape. And this is a bit of a tall piece for it,
Right.
but it'll still work.
Still do what you need it to do.
Yep.
Cool.
And start with the jack plane again, just take the roughness off.
Okay.
That's all I need to do with that plane, and then I just move straight to this one.
Okay.
Try to get a square and straight edge.
Yep.
And then I'll check it with the edge of the plane because the plane's perfectly straight, so I'll use the edge to check it straight. And that is a little bit of waviness to it, so I'll keep going on it.
And this is the jack plane, you said?
This is the tri.
Triplane, okay. Good
And-
training.
But it can be both a joining and a triplane, and a joiner plane is a bit longer than this. It's for doing edges.
Okay,
But for this skull work, I can use this one to joint the edge.
got it. So for those of you watching on camera, before we had one of these, thickness planer, and one of these, a joiner, we had guys like Greg, who made us awesome furniture.
So now this edge is quite straight lengthwise. So now I need to check it for square. Grab a square over here. Thank you. And it's looking like it's quite square. But I just realized that I planed the wrong edge. I was supposed to plane on the other edge, so I need to flip it over and do the other edge now.
Okay.
You don't have to do that right away, but make sure you make sure the grain is running the right way. You're planing it uphill, sort of like petting an animal.
Okay,
If you pet it backwards, it doesn't. You can't. It gets all bunched up. But if you just like that, and you're playing in that same direction. This edge is already planed, so I'm just gonna check it with, do a couple shadings with this, and then check it and fine tune it from there.
cool.
And something I should have mentioned before is this plane has a perfectly straight edge with the corners just slightly rounded off so that it won't dig in when you're working on the wide piece like it was before. And this should be set so it's perfectly in line with the body, parallel, so that when you hold it with your hand and use your fingers as a guide along the side, it should play in a perfectly square edge.
Very cool.
So,
Engage.
yeah, it just has a pin and a fence, and you run it along the edge of the board to make a line.
Okay,
And this one has
some measurements?
measurements on it.
Yep.
Just for a quick setup, but since this piece doesn't have to be any required size, I'm just gonna, some chip out here, and that's just gonna keep happening if I plane it. So I'm just gonna make sure I cut all that off. So I'll just go roughly around 5 inches. And they wouldn't have done this in the past, but I take a pencil and darken the line. It just makes it easier to see. Now I'll take ripsaw, which is only for going down the length of the board. If you try to use it going across, it'll work, but it'll be hard to do. And
Cross cuts are hard.
yeah, well, with a ripsaw they're hard.
Right.
Because with a ripsaw, all the edge, all the teeth are like chisels, just straight chisels in a row.
Right.
Where crosscut saws are like a bunch of little knives. So they're for cutting across it, because if you imagine it like a bunch of straws, the knives cut through the grain, and this works good for going along it.
Cool.
So now I'll just rip this down. Once it's ripped, and when you're ripping, sometimes the saw doesn't cut a perfectly square edge, just, it varies. But take care of that with the plane. So I'll start with the jack plane again, and get most of it planed off.
You can see what this marking gauge is at home. So it's got different thicknesses. You can see the little marker pin there that makes a mark in the wood. You can adjust that to different thicknesses, and it gives you different measurements, so you can get your thicknesses.
runs out all these tools, but they've been around forever. I did have an older one, that one right there. I didn't go to that one, and that one's probably really old, that one. Yeah. It would be like
What's that called, sorry?
a chamfer.
Chamfer?
Yeah. Along the edge, and you have to be not one-handed.
Yeah. Just running it on an angle,
Yeah.
almost like a little bevel
Yeah.
on it.
And I'll just go just above my finish line. Bit further on it. Yeah, that's about as close as I want to go. And then I'll just work diagonally across it just like I did with the rough side. Because that's how you take off the most amount of material. Because if going straight with this plane, it's harder to do, but going across the grain, which you don't really think is how you use a plane, but it works the quickest for the jack plane.
Got it.
It sort of leaves a rough surface, but then you take it off with all the other planes. Take a double check and look at my lines and make sure I'm going the right direction and not taking too much off in one spot. So this end's high and this end's low, and then the middle's lower. So I'll just work down here for a couple passes. And there you can see it sort of looks quite parallel. Even though my line, my pencil sort of wandered there. You can see, and it's going quite good. Now I'll check the other side. The other side's harder to see because of that chamfer I put. But this side still looks high, so I'll take a bit off back there. And it actually, no, it's pretty good because I can check the end mark I put. So now I'll just go all the way across this again evenly so that I don't create another high point or another low point. Chamfer, or that bevel I put on, is starting to run out, so I don't want to use this anymore. And I'll switch and work it down the rest of the way with this, lengthwise. And this is taking a lighter cut. I'll just check every now and again to make sure I'm not taking off too much in a certain spot. And this end's still a bit thicker than this end, so I'll take a few more off this side than I will off this side. Pretty close and square all the way around, so I'll take a few more passes over the whole surface.
Come up like that. It's just awesome.
And then see that I'm just on the edge of that groove I put in. About halfway through it, or just took one side off. So I'll plane that with this plane till that's almost gone. Just a little bit further, probably one more pass.
Basically just your pencil marks left.
Yeah.
Barely.
And then I'll switch to the smoothing plane and finish the surface. There, most of that line is gone. You see there's a couple places where it wandered off, and that's all you see there.
Just the pencil mark.
Yeah, and now I'll finish off with the smoothing plane.
What's the equivalent grit that sands it to? Like if you were to try to sand that, the smoothing plane gets it to what, like a 120?
Smoothing plane gets it closer than any sandpaper.
Really?
It cuts it cleanly, yeah.
Wow.
Because they didn't rarely use sandpaper back then. They just went straight from the smoothing plane to finishing.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Actually, I need to deepen the cut on this, so I'll take my hammer. And this looks bad to do to an old tool, but you just give it a light tap on the iron, like that. And then you check, and that's just how you adjust them. And then if you're hitting the wood parts, you use a wooden mallet.
Got it.
And now we're saving these shavings because what they did after that usually was they took these shavings, bundled them up, and it's called burnishing the surface. And it makes it nice and smooth. What? Nope, it's just wood on wood and it smooths it. Yep. And there, now that's nice. Smooth, almost shiny.
Man, that is nice. That is a pretty high grit sandpaper that you needed to get that.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
No splinters in this.
No.
And so at this point, Greg, this piece of wood is ready for most types of furniture applications.
Yeah, for making dovetails. This piece would be good for doing where both sides will be shown.
Right.
Like I said, if it's just a tabletop, you only need to go as far as a jack plane on one side.
So then next class, you can tune in or come see Greg here in person at the St. John Tool Library, and we can work on heritage woodworking right from the board. All this beautiful shavings left over. It's a lot of work. So yeah, go ahead.
And I can even put an edge, like a bead on this, show with the molding plane how that was done if you want. So this would be like a piece of trim.
Cool.
So I'll check and make sure the grain's going, and you need to make sure for this that they're going the same direction, uphill and out.
Gotcha. I'm gonna sign off for the video.
Okay.
For this part, but you can definitely do that. So, again, everybody, keep going, Greg. Anybody who's been watching, we thank you for tuning in. Of course, we're in here at the St. John Tool Library. So we're gonna be offering classes like this pretty consistently and in our workshop. And these will be for members and non-members alike. And so make sure you follow our newsletter. Make sure you go on our website. We'll have a class schedule going on up there. And you can take in more classes like this, whether it be Heritage Woodworking, Power Tools 101, doing finish work modern, or the Heritage Way. So follow us, like us. Peace out, everyone. Thank you.